course, the automobile, the engine has a thermostat in it that's normally closed until the engine reaches a certain temperature, and then the thermostat opens up and it lets the water flow through the cooling system to keep the engine at a constant temperature. And I'm going to replace this thermostat in this car. It's actually still good, but it's too hot. I don't like it because I live in Arizona. It's got the hotter thermostat, which means the thermostat won't open until it gets to probably about 195 degrees C. I don't know what that is in centigrade, or I'm sorry, 195 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't know the centigrade equivalent. I can figure it out, but the cooler thermostat for this car, this is a 300D turbo, is 176 degrees Fahrenheit, and I want to replace this thermostat. But you may want to replace the thermostat for other reasons. When they go bad, they stick shut normally. They don't stick open. And when they stick shut, then the car would overheat, obviously. It would run above the thermostat temperature. And so a sticking thermostat is you know, when the water starts to boil and you're boiling the coolant out of the car, it's could be because the thermostat is stuck. And so maybe you need to replace it for that reason. They do finally wear out. So the only thing we need to be careful of is to make sure that the thermostat is in the proper direction, and so we'll be careful to put it in the right way. If we put it in backwards, of course, it won't open and let the water flow. And Mercedes seals are very good seals, or rubber seals in this particular case, and you don't have to use any Permatex. It's almost the equivalent of an O-ring. And so we've got a new seal here, and certainly I recommend that when you replace this thermostat. And the only thing we need in terms of a tool is just a little ratchet with a 10 millimeter on it. There are only 3 bolts that hold it in there. As it turns out, I'm going to replace it while I've got the radiator out, but you don't need the radiator out in this car to replace this thermostat. All you have to do is pull the top radiator hose on it. You would have to first drain the coolant, though, because you're going to have a mess if you try to break that system loose without first draining the coolant out of the car. So drain the coolant, and you'll be to the point where we are now. And let's go look at the thermostat. The thermostat is inside a little housing right here, right on the passenger side of the engine, right at the front. And there are just some little 10 millimeter bolts, 3 of them, that hold it on there. So all I need to do is take those bolts out, and that thermostat should come right out of it. So I'm down to the 3rd bolt, and as I get the 3rd bolt out, you see that frequently these things are kind of stuck, but that's okay. We can break it loose with our hands. Notice I've got the radiator out. That's not necessary. I just happen to have the radiator out because I'd taken it out previously. And I've still got that bottom radiator hose connected, but we don't have to disconnect it. As long as we've drained the coolant, we'll be fine. There'll probably be a little coolant that splatters out from the engine, but that's okay. Now you can pay attention to how the thermostat is in there. You can see that the spring end is toward the engine. So all we want to do is take it out of there. It may take us, no, we didn't need a screwdriver. You can see that there's no Permatex, there's no gaskets that are on there, and all we're going to do is put a new one in there. Okay, so I've put the new gasket on the thermostat, and remember the spring part went toward the engine, so just lay it down inside the housing, if you will, and we'll put it right on there. The bolts, just 3 bolts hold it in.